All right, so just get into it. What are you up to? I've heard you're doing a lot of things with charity in mind. I know Pittsburgh's always been a place you've thought of as a home, an adopted hometown
Yes,
for you.
sir.
So tell me a little bit about your charity, please, and what we need to know so we can spread the word and the love and all that.
When we think about the Third and Long Foundation, you think about utilizing third down in the football sense and how important it is to convert those third down and long conversions. My son, Santonio Holmes III, being born with a rare disease of sickle cell disease, and knowing that he's the most important, aspect of my life at this point, in fighting and helping him fight for his life. And third down and third and long, Santonio III, kind of flow together with creating a foundation that is most important to myself, and how we attack and tackle getting to that first down is by moving the chains on third down and long and being very dependable. Becoming the advocate for sickle cell, having to live with this rare disease as a trait, but knowing the complications that most kids, most family members, or adults have to live with this disease. It's life-threatening, and it causes a lot of complications with people, and as far as wanting to become more active out in the community and doing little things. So they don't have a voice that can be as powerful as one of a person as an advocate that's willing to serve and help all of these patients out.
Such a large community, people that played in the NFL, and you're a brotherhood. And, when you're no longer playing, it always seems like that brotherhood in a weird way expands because you're not divided by teams anymore. What type of support have you had from some people you played with, maybe some people you played against? Just
thinking about how the NFL is a community and a family together. They've created the NFL Legends community, where no matter if you've played for one particular organization for 1 year or 15 years, you get an opportunity to meet some of the guys that have been a part of that organization, and you get a chance to interact with them, other than what you would have thought would have happened had you just met this person out on the streets. But through that brotherhood of being in the NFL community, it allowed myself and others to share information about what we're doing, out in each other's community, so that we could now become participants of each other's support.
So if the City Paper in Pittsburgh wants to shine a light on this great cause, what are the most important things we need to help you get out there in terms of information, so that people know not only what you're up against, but what steps can be done in a way that can just be with some simple steps, some simple moves to help raise awareness and funds and all that?
There are many advocates here in the city of Pittsburgh for sickle cell. And I think being able to allow them to speak more on the situations and issues that they are faced with throughout their lifetime, dealing with sickle cell, that awareness alone will allow people to understand where they're coming from, how they're dealing with their problems, and eventually how they can help. Because there are doctors out there that are willing to take care of this situation on their own. But we need more voices to be more vocal about how this is affecting these type of families. And being an advocate is something that I've taken heartily.
How has it affected you? What is an example that maybe the audience might be surprised to know? A Super Bowl MVP. This is a different type of battle. You can't control this.
And being an advocate is really tough because you don't get the recognition that you would get, so to speak, as being a superstar on an already established organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everyone recognizes. Still playing,
you could talk about this every day, right?
Yeah, correctly.
Right.
And that's why this platform of being a Super Bowl MVP is being utilized to the max now, so that I could help become that big voice that the sickle cell community needs to get the funding and the research done, so that we could definitely try to find a cure for this disease.
Now this, I believe, is what, the 10-year anniversary season of the Super Bowl?
10 years, man. It's been a long time.
We were so much younger then, right? How do you think, or how do you anticipate knowing that we are a culture that likes to celebrate things based off anniversaries, can help you with this message? Because I imagine there's going to be a lot of stories written about, I mean, wasn't a bad catch. So,
I mean, when you think about how legends tend to leave a mark with the fans or even in general, and over long periods of time, back in the 1800s, you hear all these stories of legends and myths, and we don't know whether to believe that they're true or not. But when it comes to this one myth that will be told forever and ever, and it will be something of truth, is that the world got an opportunity to witness, one of the greatest catches in Super Bowl history, being played out in one of the,
bit modest.
Being played out in, I mean, there are many of them, and being a part of that history forever, I cannot exclude what the guys have done before me,
right,
because they have paved the way for, events like this to happen. And look at what happened after my catch. There was Odell Beckham, who made, one of the greatest one-handed catches for a touchdown, a year or two later. And now that signifies one of the greatest catches that has happened in the NFL. And to continue having that be a topic of conversation for the fans to talk about, that legend, that legendary status will never die down.
When I was around you when you were a player, there's a horde of media that's always asking you questions. And I always thought, there's a guy that if he really wants to, can probably get into our line of work. Yeah. Have you thought about that? Has it been something that you thought maybe even more about because could possibly bring more attention to this? Because I look at guys like Jerome Bettis, Heinz Ward, guys who have done that. It seems like if you're a former Steeler, you might bring an audience that television and radio people like, because let's face it, the Steeler Nation is everywhere.
I mean, putting on that uniform and wearing black and gold, it gave us all the opportunity to set the platform higher for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And with the likes of what we've done to achieve this status and being professional athletes, but also being Super Bowl champions, being a part of the most storied franchise now with 6 Super Bowls that stand alone, being a part of that, for history, that's something that will never be taken away. It gives us a greater opportunity to be out in the limelight and what the fans love, because our fans are going to travel with us whether we're here in the uniform or out of uniform, and it shows how much they care about the players, whether they're on or off the field.
And when you were talking about sickle cell, it's in you. It's a matter of if it's active, right?
Yes.
When did you find out about it with your son? How has it impacted him?
2002. My little guy was born April 18th, 2002. It'll be a day I'll never forget, and always remember him sitting
you were still
under
in college, right?
I was a senior in high school.
Senior in high school, that's right,
yeah,
okay.
I was finishing up my last year of high school, my last month or so, before being a freshman at Ohio State. And just seeing him sitting in the hospital under the incubator, for 3 days, and, we can't take him out, we can't touch him, we can't hold him, can't play with him, and not knowing what is going to come from this point moving forward. And seeing that when I got to Ohio State and he was left at home in Florida, and Mom was calling me every other week, like, I'm taking him to the hospital for this and I'm taking him to the hospital for that. That started weighing heavily on me as a person that could not do anything to protect him at that time. And so I just continued to buckle my chin strap a little bit tighter and dig deeper, my cleats into the ground and push forward so that I could provide a better lifestyle for helping his situation and cure, this disease.
When you reach the heights that you reached as a player, how frustrating is it when you're not the player anymore to see how hard it is to draw attention to causes that are worthy?
Like I said before, being an advocate is tough, because you don't get that star status every day, in your face recognition of something that the fans have grown to love you, for, and that's being a part of a sports organization. But being a part of the Steeler organization and being an advocate for sickle cell, it allows me an opportunity to showcase what it is that I'm trying to do for a greater cause than myself. And the fans loved us for what we did for them, but they could also love us for what we're doing for other people, just like them.
How do the Steelers help you now with this?
Man, the Steelers support in every way possible. They have a lane that they're sponsoring, at the bowling event come October 8th here at Noble Lanes. They've been allowing me opportunities to just speak about my charity giving and how much it is affecting in the community. And they're going to allow me to be, a Steeler for life. And that was, during my retirement last year. So being a part of this organization has given me an opportunity to continue building from the platform that they have given me, 10 years later after winning the Super Bowl.
Do you appreciate the organization more when you go play somewhere else? Nothing against the organization.
That's a tough question to ask on camera, but I will 100% agree with that, because when you're first brought into an organization, you're loved by that family immediately. So when you get traded to another team, and this will be spoken from any other player, you don't get welcomed as wholeheartedly as you are accepted from the day that you are drafted to that organization. The team accepts you in as another player. They're looking forward to great things, but it's just not the same as being born into a family as opposed to being adopted into a family. All
right, I'm going to do some quick fire ones. You want to have some fun?
All right, let's roll.
Okay. The City Paper this year put out a city guide. It was our bucket list of things to do in Pittsburgh, before you end your time here. And I guess the question I have is, what is the top of your bucket list of something to do in Pittsburgh?
Throw out one of the first pitch at a Pirate game.
You've done that, though.
No, that's on the bucket list.
You haven't done that.
I did that after the Super Bowl at versus the Atlanta Braves down at Disney.
Yes, but not here.
But not here in PNC Park.
Well, I think we could probably make that happen.
Let's make it happen. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Sort of along those lines.
And we'll do a strike. We want to throw a strike for sickle cell.
You can throw a strike?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Did you got to put me on the clock?
Well, I know you could catch a strike, but throwing a strike
Hey, we throw darts too. We can.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, man. World class athlete. I get it. I just thought, I was a source close to you, very close to you, told me you've never ridden the incline.
I've never ridden the incline. I think that's on the bucket list as well, man. To ride in the incline. I want to do it at night when the Steelers are probably playing in the game.
That would be cool.
Pretty cool.
Do you think you could throw a strike to PNC Park from the incline?
That is easy to do.
Yes.
Just a little couple photoshops and image changes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that could be done. Well, I would love to. That would be a good commercial for us. To throw a pass from the top of the incline into the stadium and I catch it.
Are you throwing it to yourself? I mean, for photoshopping, we might as well.
Hold on now. We had an issue about me throwing the pass to myself and catching it in the New York media, we're not sure if we're going to make that work. But, hey, that would be a great pitch, to get Ben to throw me a pass from off the top of the thing, and it goes all the way into the stadium, and I catch it for a touchdown. That would be pretty sweet.
That would be good. And, I think you'd probably have better luck getting Ben involved in that than we would. So, you can,
hey, the City Paper can do anything they want to do. They put their mind to it.
That is an excellent plug, my friend. I thank you for that. A couple more quick fire ones. What bothers you more? Not making the catch on the play before, or stick with me here, not having a proper final game as a member of the Steelers?
Man. Not having a proper game
really?
Exit from here. I think the fans were misconstrued on how my exit went, as opposed to me wanting to be traded, to a different market.
Well, you never wanted to leave, right?
And I grew up a childhood fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was a business move that had to be taken. And I just happened to be a part of the business move. And I definitely thank the Steelers for allowing me an opportunity to come back and retire as a Steeler. And that shows that it was no love lost between us. It was just about business. Most
commonly held mispronunciation of your name?
I got a couple of them. Let's go with Santino, San Antone, which is what Charlie Batch calls me every time he sees me, still to this day, after he threw me my only first pass of my NFL career, that he still gets my name messed up.
Did he call you that after you?
Oh, he called me that the first day he even met me. Like, it was never Santonio from Charlie Batch. It was always San Antone. It was his way of communicating with me, and nobody else calls me that but Chuck. So I'm okay with that.
So he calls you San Antone and you call him Chuck.
I call him Chuck. Yep. I've been called San Antonio, Santiago.
Santiago.
Yeah, Santiago.
Wow, I've not heard you call that one.
I'm not sure if I
Most
have
people
any
don't
more,
get four
but
mispronunciations
man,
of
it's
their name.
it's Santoni, Santino, Santiano, Santiane. Like it's Santinio. It's all
You're turning it to an Italian.
Oh man,
basically.
it's all, and everybody asks where I get my name from, and I really can't explain it. Grandma's passed away now. And it was passed on to Dad and now to me. So
Who do you think has it worse, you with your first name or Ben with his last name? Because I've heard Roethlisberger butchered in this town. I've heard Roslenberger, Roslisberg, so.
I can only laugh at it because I don't know. I mean, I think it's a toss-up. We should definitely do a poll and see how many names, so many guys have gotten the Santonio mixed up over Roethlisberger.
I'm going to guess you don't win that one.
Yeah, let's put it in the city paper.
We'll do a poll. Which name have you said worse most often? Roethlisberger or San Antonio?
See, there you go. You've already butchered it. There you go.
So the first time I was at a previous place when you were drafted, we had a big debate about this because we weren't sure if the spelling was correct because people were saying San Antonio and we knew it was Santonio and we couldn't figure out how to spell it. When we reached out to Ohio State, they reacted as though we were from another planet because they were like, look, it's spelled the way it's spelled and it's said the way it's said. And we tried to explain to them that day, like, this is going to continue being a thing.
Right.
When did you realize it was just going to be a thing you had to live with?
In college, when I started playing, the kids could not pronounce my name, and the little kids would just see, hey, there's number 4, the guy number 4, and then it just turned into Santino, Santonio, Santiago, Santini, whatever it is, San Antone. But I think it's pretty cool, that the pronunciation was written out inside of every program, for the fans to actually, and they just overlooked it and didn't care how they pronounced it, and it just stuck. So I'm not mad at the fans, as long as they get to cheer for me in the black and gold, excuse me.
See, now we're one for one, right? 1 for 1. You knew better, I knew better, we're good. All right, a few more quick hitting ones here, Santonio. Are you truly an all-time great Steeler wide receiver if you haven't won a Super Bowl?
Yes, because Antonio Brown and Antonio Brown has not won a Super Bowl, and by far he is at the top of that list, and his heroics and the things that he's done tremendously for this organization in the city.
As a player, you were somebody who mirrored him in many ways. Guys that used their speed, guys that ran great routes.
Hold on. We're going to back that up. He's the kind of guy that...
he mirrored you.
That's what I'm talking about.
You were similar players, I should say. Speaking is not my forte. I apologize. Right. You see a lot of yourself in him?
Oh, no doubt, man. Coming from both of us, coming from South Florida, having the same type stature at 5'10", 5'11", and can carry anywhere from 185 to 195 pounds, but still be able to run a 4.2, 4.3 speed, and can still be as strong as the 6 foot, 200-pound receiver. So to know that both of us carry that same kind of explosiveness, and it's being displayed, every week that he steps on the football field. What
about players of that type connect well with Ben as a quarterback? Because for a while we always heard Ben needs tall receivers, Ben needs these big targets. But if you look at it, his best numbers have come with guys like you and Antonio who, aren't the prototypical 6'4" receiver that, could just go up and get everything.
I honestly think Ben likes playing with receivers that have the confidence that they're going to play through the play until the play is over with. And that has been displayed numerous amount of times where he scrambled out of the backfield and found myself, Heinz Ward, or, even AB down the field for big plays. And to be able to stay with him and understand how he plays the game, that relationship grows because he has confidence that you're going to know that if the ball has not reached me at this particular time versus this particular coverage, that something has now happened, and now I need to go and find out where my quarterback is ready to make this throw at and be where he needs me to be at.
it sounds like you should be in broadcasting.
I would definitely take an opportunity to stand behind the mic and talk a little bit about football.
How much do you regret not getting to wear the all-black Steeler uniforms that they wore?
No, I was a little upset about the all-black and even the Bumblebee uniforms. Not a lot of people like them, but to know that number 10 would have been really pretty in the Bumblebee uniform.
You liked those?
No, I love those uniforms. I never got a chance to wear them.
How many times did you get hit on the head?
Too
many?
Yeah, we talk about concussions,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Man,
It's a serious subject, so I don't want to make light of it. I've had 4. How many have you had?
I can't even count how many concussions because you play through them, man. You're so eager and hungry to stay on the football field that your aggressive mindset, it does not get shattered when you take those hits. It's now becoming an issue when it's being a focal point. You know, we were getting hit across the head numerous amount of times and bounce right back up and continue playing in the game. But now it's becoming an issue where guys are actually losing their lives. They're losing their train of thought, and things are happening to where they can't control them. So now it's more attention being drawn to how you interact with guys and hitting them in the helmets.
Will football 25 years from now resemble what we see it as today?
Probably not. I think it will.
You think?
I think it will change, you know, in every aspect and in the way that the helmets are going. They're trying to make them more revolutionary to where they are protecting, you know, the guys at all costs. They're willing to absorb the amount of pressure that is being displayed by each individual making head-to-head contact. But you can't avoid those things from happening in games where the guy's coming across the field, catch a football, falls to the ground, and he has no neck control, and his head slams against the concrete or against the ground. Those things you can't prevent, and at this point, you know, they're going to keep happening, but we're finding ways to try to prevent these things from happening.
How heavy is the bowling ball you throw?
The bowling ball that I use is about 13 and a half pounds.
Oh, okay. And are you a real hook guy, or are you more of a straight and narrow?
Oh, I'm hooking it. I'm second arrow down all the way through, and I'm trying to come right across that front pin, kicking out number 7, and letting the ball take care of the rest.
Now, you know the lanes at Noble Manor don't use the traditional oil.
Oh, they will pattern. Come. They will come October 8th.
Oh, they will?
Oh, yeah.
That's in the contract? Who wins? We do a best of 3, rolling a best of 3. Who wins, you or Jerome?
Oh, man, we got to get him out there. I think intimidation is a big factor, you know, when you see each other next to each other, you know, standing on the lanes, and you got to stay focused. And I would love to go out for a challenge against JB.
I'd like to see that, too, because I have a theory about JB when it comes to bowling. I know he was good, but I kind of think now it's more all reputation.
Yeah, he's been playing it for a long time, and he loves doing it. You know, it's been a
he owned a team, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And to know that he's continuing to build a foundation behind bowling and the importance in that it played in his life and how he can translate that to other people's lives, you know, is tremendous.
How much trouble would you have been in as a player if Instagram was as prominent then as it is now?
Probably not.
Really? You're not a social media guy? You don't think back then you'd have been posting everything?
No, because we were more so focused on playing the game.
Really?
You know, getting to the NFL as a young 21-year-old guy, I was seeking after the attention of being one of the best receivers in the NFL behind not seeking after the media attention. But to know that it would have played a big part in how you are perceived throughout the media, and knowing that your media peers would have an opinion about you that they could now voice, so that the media doesn't take full control over broadcasting those negative things that they always like to talk about.
Right.
And I think our fans would be able to weigh in on that.
Do you have more of an appreciation now for that whole process, since you can look at it from the other side? When you're playing, you see the media as sort of, you see them every day. Sometimes it can be a combative relationship. But now, do you have a different appreciation for maybe how they help you get the message you want out?
It depends on who you talk to, because some of those guys are still going to have an interview with you that is pertaining to a positive conversation, but have some type of twist to where their story is now impacted by what they want to say other than what you were trying to get across. So it really depends on who you talk to in the media aspect and which ones are definitely going to be on your team.
I think if I was a Steeler and I had Instagram, if I were you and Instagram was a big thing when I was playing, I think you probably would have made different ways to just look at all the Super Bowl trophies. Because I remember like a lot of you guys would come in and out of those meetings, you'd walk past those trophies, and I noticed one thing about every Steeler. When you come out of that doorway, you always take a peek.
No doubt.
You know which ones are where, and right? Like, you're part of that family.
Exactly.
That's something nobody can ever take away. That's got to be pretty cool.
I mean, to walk out of the locker room and the meeting rooms every day and know that the trophies are there, that you've earned them, that the people before you have earned it, and you get an opportunity to wear that organization on your chest that has earned those trophies, and to know that you will forever be associated with it, whether you win one or not, that you were part of the Pittsburgh Steelers family, and you're welcome to come and interact with any Super Bowl winning team here in Pittsburgh, and it doesn't matter if you play with them or not.
I got two last ones for you, but before we get to them, again, please plug your event, plug your charity, and just remind everybody about that.
All right, October 8th at Noble Lanes here in Pittsburgh. Please come out and support us. thirdandlongfoundation.org is where you can go online and check out what we're doing with the website.
Okay. The two questions I've always wanted to ask you, both relate sort of to the biggest moment of your career. One, what was the first thing you heard when you realized you had come down with the catch clean?
What was the first thing I heard? Sitting on the ground, I don't even think I could hear anything. My immediate eye attention went directly to the referee to find if I was in bounds or not. I felt comfortable about my position and where I had plugged my feet in the ground, but you lose, all conscious and focus when the ball's in the air and being hit in the back down to the ground. The first initial thing was looking for the referee, and I could remember Heinz jumping on my neck and like pulling me out of the pile and was like, "Did you get in? Did you get in? Did you get in?" He said, "Do you think you kept your feet in?" And I was like, "I think so." And then I looked up at the referee, and I think that's when I saw him throw his hands up. It took about an hour for him to put his hands up, and that's exactly what it felt like. Like it took this guy about an hour to say that I was in bounds.
I, for one, am shocked that Heinz would be one of the first people to chime in on something after an event, aren't you?
Why would you say that?
Oh, Heinz always has something to say.
Oh, no doubt. He's a character, man. He's been a vocal leader. He's been somebody that I looked up to, that I respected. Learning the game, being a part of his Super Bowl MVP run after that, and knowing that I got a chance to be next to him as a receiver, that entire season while he, just boasted and glowed from his success. And I saw the way he worked throughout the offseason, the work that he put in during the season, the little runs that we would take during each break that the offense was off the field and the defense was on. We would take a little quick jog across the field, and that would just keep our energy up and always keep us ready to play and perform. And I think I took a piece of that right after Heinz and became Super Bowl MVP myself. And
then the obvious one is, do you send Larry Fitzgerald a Christmas card every year for costing him his only shot at a championship?
Fitzgerald, if you're listening, you're probably the reason I didn't come and play for the University of Pitt, because as I came from my visit that summer, all the guys talked about was Larry Fitzgerald this, Larry Fitzgerald that. And I looked at my high school teammates that made the trip up from Florida with me, and I told those guys, I said, I can't come here and compete with Larry Fitzgerald. I want to go somewhere else where I'm going to be the guy. And I ended up choosing to go to Ohio State and not coming to play here at Pitt with Larry Fitzgerald. But no, I've not sent him a Christmas card, but I definitely thank him for my Christmas every year and how I celebrate.
You should. I mean, that sent you to Ohio State. That started you on your career.
Yeah.
You might owe him a Christmas card.
Oh, no doubt. No one never knows about this.
He's never getting that close.
No one knows about this. Even Larry doesn't know that he was the reason why I didn't go to Pittsburgh.
Really?
And that's 110% why I didn't choose to go to play for Pitt, because Larry Fitzgerald was coming in 2002 that year, in 2001 that year to be a receiver here.
So the breaking news here from City Paper is that all the Michigan fans out there who don't like you have Larry Fitzgerald to blame because he was at Pitt and you would have gone there.
Exactly.
Right.
So guys, don't blame me. Blame Larry Fitzgerald for not going to Pitt.
Hey, good luck with everything, and keep us posted. We want to help in any way we can.
Thank you, guys, man. Right. City Paper has been great. Thanks for the invite and the plug to Third and Long Foundation, and get out and support sickle cell.
Go eat.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.